English learners, and welcome to the Real English Podcast. I'm Emily.
And I'm Jack, and it's really great to have you with us today.
Thanks for joining us. We have a really fun topic for our advanced listeners today.
We certainly do. Have you ever been asked a tricky question, Emily?
Oh, definitely. Sometimes people ask things I really don't want to answer.
Right? Like at a family dinner or a tough job interview.
Exactly. And you don't want to sound rude or evasive, right?
Yeah, that's the worst. Today we're talking about the pivot.
The pivot, that means answering the question you wish you were asked.
It's a clever technique public relations professionals use all the time.
That's right. They use special bridging phrases to steer the conversation safely away.
Why is this so useful for everyday real life, Emily?
Because it lets you gently control the flow of the conversation.
I see, you maintain your authority without looking like you're hiding something.
Exactly. It takes advanced language skills, but anyone can learn it.
Have you ever used a pivot yourself with your own family?
Oh yeah. When my aunt asks about dating, I always pivot to my career.
Good point. That's a perfect everyday use for a smooth pivot.
Should we look at the specific words you need for this trick?
Let's do it. Let's move on to the vocabulary preview and check them out. Evasive. That's a great adjective. What does it mean, Emily?
It means you're avoiding a direct answer.
Right. Politicians are often called evasive, aren't they?
Oh, absolutely. They love talking in circles.
Have you ever been evasive at work before?
Maybe when my boss asks about a really late project.
Good point. We want to pivot without sounding too evasive.
Deflect. So, what does deflect actually mean here?
It means to make something change its original direction.
I see, like bouncing a ball away from you?
Exactly. In conversation, you bounce an uncomfortable question away.
That's a really useful skill for advanced learners.
Yeah, it takes the pressure right off your shoulders.
Have you tried that trick with your own family?
All the time, especially when they ask about my dating life.
Reframe. That's an interesting verb. How do we use it?
Think of a picture frame. You put a new frame around a topic.
Right? You change the way people look at the issue.
Exactly. You change the focus to something more positive.
So instead of a failure, you call it a learning experience?
That's a perfect example. It sounds so much better.
I definitely need to use that trick more often.
Now that we know the words, let's hear them in action. Up next is the dialogue.
Are you ready for the project review meeting today, David?
Not really. I'm pretty worried about the schedule questions.
I get that. They'll definitely ask about the launch delay.
Exactly. I just don't want to sound evasive today.
You won't. You just need to deflect the negative focus.
Right? Have you tried that with the board before?
Oh, all the time. It's a very common communication trick.
That sounds useful. How do I actually do it?
Use a bridging phrase to gently shift the topic.
Okay, what kind of phrase do you mean exactly?
You change the subject smoothly. You say, "Let me focus on our progress."
Oh, I see. Let me focus on our recent security updates.
Yes, perfect. Then you reframe the delay as a positive step.
That's a good point. It shows we're taking safety seriously.
Exactly. You answer the question you wish they actually asked.
I really like that approach. What if they keep pushing?
Just pivot again. Tell them what really matters is final quality.
That makes total sense. I feel much better about this now.
Welcome to the language takeaway. Let's look at the vocabulary from our dialogue.
Yeah, that conversation was really interesting. PR professionals use some very clever tricks.
Exactly. They're masters of the pivot. Have you ever tried these techniques yourself?
I have. I actually used one yesterday. I didn't want to answer a question.
Really? What did you say?
I used our first word. I said I didn't want to sound evasive.
That's a great example. So what does evasive actually mean here?
It means you're avoiding a direct answer. You're hiding your true thoughts.
Right. It comes from the verb evade. You evade capture, or you evade a question.
Exactly. In the dialogue, the speaker said they didn't want to sound evasive.
Why do people say that before they avoid the question?
It's a smart trick. You admit what you're doing before anyone else can.
I see, it softens the blow, doesn't it?
It really does. It makes you sound honest while you avoid the topic.
That's so sneaky. What was our next word from the dialogue?
The next word is deflect. We heard about deflecting the negative focus.
Right. What picture comes to your mind when you hear the word deflect?
I always think of a shield, like in a video game or a movie.
Yes, exactly. Someone throws a sword at you, and you deflect it away.
It works the same way in conversation. A reporter asks a hard question.
And you just bounce it away. You deflect the negative focus to something else.
That's right. You protect yourself by changing the direction of the attack.
Have you ever had to deflect a question at work?
Sometimes, if a project is late, I try to deflect the blame.
We all do that. It's a very useful skill for advanced speakers.
Definitely. Now, what do you do after you deflect the bad question?
Well, you have to talk about something else. That brings up our last word.
Yes, the word is reframe. We heard the phrase reframe the delay as a positive step.
I love this word. It literally means putting a new frame around a picture.
Right. You completely change how people see the situation.
How do you use it in real life?
You take a negative thing and make it sound good.
Can you give me an example of that?
Sure. Instead of saying we're slow, you say we're being careful.
Ah, I see. You reframe the slowness as high-quality work.
Exactly. It's a powerful tool for business English.
It really is. These 3 words give you so much control in a conversation.
They do. Just remember to use them carefully. You don't want to sound fake.
So, we just talked about how public relations experts change the subject.
Yeah, they are truly so good at it.
But how can we actually do this in our own lives?
Right. We need the exact phrases to pivot smoothly.
Exactly. Let's look at some really useful bridging phrases.
These help you dodge a tricky question without sounding rude.
I use these at work all the time, honestly.
Really? When do you usually use them at work?
Mostly when someone asks about a major project delay.
Oh, I see. You just want to shift the focus.
Exactly. So our first phrase pattern is, I cannot speak to that, but...
That is such a classic move in business.
You acknowledge the question, but you gently step away from it.
How would you use that in real life?
I can't speak to the old budget, but our new budget is balanced.
That is nice. You completely dropped the old budget topic.
Yeah, it works perfectly. Have you tried using a pivot?
I really like to use the phrase, the real question here is,
Oh, that is a very confident way to handle it.
right? It makes you sound like the real expert.
Why does that happen in a conversation, do you think?
Because you're literally telling them what is most important.
Give me a quick example of how that works.
The real question here is how we move forward together.
That completely changes the angle of the whole conversation.
Exactly! It stops people from focusing on past mistakes.
Good point. Our last pattern is about zooming out.
Let's take a step back. I really love this one.
It helps a lot when someone is stuck on a tiny detail.
Yeah, you just pull them right out of the weeds.
Let's take a step back and look at the whole plan.
That is so useful for stressful meetings at work.
Definitely, it cools everything down and restarts the talk.
Let's review these patterns closely so you can practice them.
Now that we have explored how advanced speakers use evasive tactics to deflect and reframe questions, let's listen to the dialogue one more time.
Are you ready for the project review meeting today, David?
Not really. I'm pretty worried about the schedule questions.
I get that. They'll definitely ask about the launch delay.
Exactly. I just don't want to sound evasive today.
You won't. You just need to deflect the negative focus.
Right? Have you tried that with the board before?
Oh, all the time. It's a very common communication trick.
That sounds useful. How do I actually do it?
Use a bridging phrase to gently shift the topic.
Okay, what kind of phrase do you mean exactly?
You change the subject smoothly. You say, "Let me focus on our progress."
Oh, I see. Let me focus on our recent security updates.
Yes, perfect. Then you reframe the delay as a positive step.
That's a good point. It shows we're taking safety seriously.
Exactly. You answer the question you wish they actually asked.
I really like that approach. What if they keep pushing?
Just pivot again. Tell them what really matters is final quality.
That makes total sense. I feel much better about this now.
It's always fun to hear that dialogue again.
Yeah, Chloe gives David some really great advice there.
Absolutely, deflecting negative focus is such a vital skill.
I completely agree. It's a true lifesaver in tough meetings.
Have you ever tried using those tricks yourself?
Oh, definitely. I use bridging phrases all the time.
They really help you take control of the conversation.
Exactly. You steer things back to a safe place.
Now it's time for you to practice these phrases.
Right? Speaking these out loud builds your muscle memory.
We've picked out some key lines from the dialogue.
Let's just have Chloe read the key advice for us.
Perfect. Please listen to Chloe and repeat after her.
You can pause the audio if you need more time.
Ready? Let's get started.
You just need to deflect the negative focus. It's a very common communication trick. Use a bridging phrase to gently shift the topic. You change the subject smoothly. Let me focus on our progress. You answer the question you wish they actually asked. What really matters is final quality.
Great job with the practice today.
Yes, mastering those pivots will really boost your confidence.
We hope you found these advanced tactics helpful.
If you enjoyed this episode, please like and share it.
And please don't forget to subscribe to our channel.
That really helps us make more content for you.
Thanks so much for hanging out with us today.
It was a great conversation.
We'll see you again in the next video.
Bye, everyone. Keep practicing those bridging phrases.